While I'm waiting for this to load, I'm going to give you a few reasons why you should, a few signs companies show you to let you know that you shouldn't work there, or basically you should find another place to work. But first, this is a very interesting t-shirt. It has a map of all the subways in the Manhattan area, and it's actually, I get a lot of compliments wearing it. The only problem is, sometimes when someone sees this t-shirt, they're like, "You want to know where I used to live or where I used to work?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then they say, "I used to work right here." And then they actually poke the station that they used to work at or live at. And I'm like, you do realize there's a human on the other side of this t-shirt, right? And this human does not like being poked. That's the only problem with wearing this t-shirt. Sometimes people poke you when telling you where they used to work or live. Anyway, one sign a company shows you to let you know that you should leave, and basically there's nothing for you at that company, or basically they're telling you that they're about to lay you off. One sign to be aware of is not being able to find work for you for the entire 8-hour shift. For example, when I was 18, I used to work at Amazon, and every once in a while, they would send you home early because they couldn't find any work for you for the rest of the shift. At first, I was 18, and I thought, yay, I can go home early and play video games and watch anime. But what I didn't realize back then was, when companies can't find work for you, it means they're running out of money and eventually won't be able to afford to keep you there anymore. So, if you get sent home early, it's probably a good time. It's probably a good thing to do to seek employment elsewhere. Another sign a company shows you that there's nothing for you at that company is favoritism. Basically, when the manager has a favorite employee and you are not one of them. If you work at a job like that, there's basically nothing for you at that company. There's no way for advancing in the company, basically. And I actually have 2 experiences at Amazon where something like that happened. For example, the first one is I was pulling into the parking lot, and you know how sometimes you want to back your car into the parking space so you won't have to back it out. You can just drive forward because it's easier that way. Well, when I tried to do that, someone came up to me and stopped me and said, "You can't back up into the parking spaces because it slows down traffic." But about like 30 seconds later, someone else did the exact same thing and got away with it. That is a good example of favoritism. Another example is, this is still from when I was working at Amazon, by the way. Anyway, basically, every single day there was this guy with a clipboard that would come up to me and tell me I wasn't working fast enough and I should work faster or else they'll fire me. The funny thing is, there were lots of employees that were just standing around leaning against bookshelves and having 20-minute conversations, and no one came up to them telling them that they weren't working fast enough. That's also a good example of favoritism, where they look the other way when certain employees do absolutely nothing, and then you're working as hard as you can, and then they're telling you you're not fast enough. That was one of the reasons I left that company. Another sign is the company is not that busy. If you're not that busy throughout your entire shift, that probably means that the company is running out of customers and is about to go out of business. So, if the work seems a little bit too easy, you should probably seek employment elsewhere, because chances are they're going to lay you off soon.